life I've barely spoken. I'm not here for bragging, boasting. Ain't lying, I've been chosen. Mind is burning, heart's exploding. This is my magnum opus. Are you with me now? Said, are you with me now? Ain't felt this good in a while. They want us to simmer down. Can you hear me now? Am I going in and out? I stop and just look around to see if you're with me now. Tell me, are you with me now? Ready to put it down. Start at the bottom, already forgot them, but they won't forgive me now. You really ain't ready now. You haters just in the crowd, but still I just look around. Are you with me now? Are you with me now? Whoa. Are you with me now? Said, are you with me now? Ain't felt this good in a while. They want us to simmer down. You really ain't ready now. You haters just in the crowd, but till I just look around. Are you with me now? Are you with me now? Whoa. Are you with me now? Said, are you with me now? Ain't felt this good in a while. They want us to simmer down. Can you hear me now? Am I going in and out? I stop and just look around to see if you with me now. Tell me, are you with me now? Ready to put it down. Start at the bottom, already forgot them, but they won't forgive me now. You really ain't ready now. You haters just in the crowd, but still I just look around. Are you with me now? Are you with me now? Whoa.
Everyone.
Good day, everybody. I'm stealing Joey's Australian language there. Good day. Right. Hello and welcome. My name is Mick and I'm coming to you from the Republic of Ireland. And of course, I'm here with my good friend Joey. And we're going to get into some stuff today. This is episode 30, Born Rich, part 3, week 8. And of course, we're talking about the Bob Proctor Remastered You Were Born Rich webinar, which I think is probably one of the best webinars that's out there. And of course, you can get it for free, and you can download the workbook so you can watch along yourself. You know, you can watch along, go through the workbook. The link is in the description. Okay, but look, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Click the notification button so that you can keep track on Joey and I, and you'll be notified whenever we're going live. Now, if you've not been to Joey's Facebook page, you definitely have to go there because Joey is live, all of the time. Like Joey posts, I don't post at all. Joey posts all the time. He's really good at it. But look, this is a no limits, transform your life, thing that we're doing. Do you know what I mean? It's about change. It's about change. And look, if you're not changing it, you're choosing it. I didn't say that. It was Bruce Lee that said that. If you're not changing it, you are choosing it. So I'm going to encourage you to change, and you can do that right here with us. And what does that change entail of? It's about looking better, feeling better, moving better, and doing better. And of course, we want you to get involved with the 16-week challenge. You can reach out to Joey and I will explain more about that. But the 16-week challenge is all about looking and feeling the best that you've felt in a decade. Now, that's not about focusing on where you are. It's about focusing on where you want to be. That person you want to become. So we're going to do that in 16 weeks, but we want you to kick off with your 30-day reset. No risk to you at all. All you're going to, you might be thinking, what kind of results am I going to get? Good ones, great ones, whatever you're thinking about. But Joey, listen, before I introduce Joey, download your Freedom, Health and Lifestyle goal sheet. The link is in the description. And then send that into Joey, send it into me. And of course, Joey's email and my email is there. But look, we just want to have some fun. We're just having some fun here. If it's not fun, it's not worth doing. So it's going to be fun. Joey, say hello. Coming to us all the way from Australia. You were in Bali last week. We had terrible internet connection last week. It was unbelievable. I bet no one could even watch anything. But look, say hello.
Hello, this is Joye Click here from Sydney, Australia, and I'm here with my good friend Mike McKillen, all the way from Ireland, and every Sunday, last week, like you said, I was in Bali with family all day, but we still make it happen. Even the connection is still, not steady, and stable, but we find a way. That's because as you learn this journey, you grow as a person, you grow as a, you develop as your personal growth. And you learn to more creative, you learn to find a way. We're like a little ant, if someone tried to stop us, we find a way around to work something out. Because we value our client, we value our people, and, our audience. If you're watching this, please like, subscribe, or make a comment. And, maybe you can add value to the program by adding some something that you would like to for us to talk more about it in the future. And me and myself and Mike, are looking forward to collaborate, whatever you wish to, that make an impact in your life. And, tonight is going to be a big one. Always looking forward for the remaster of this transformation information that we want to pay it forward, because the person who changed our life, it's gone now. God bless him. But his legacy live on because we share and pass it on, his legacy, through the information that he share and wisdom that he share with us. So, Mike, I'm looking forward to. I'm ready.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm just looking at the notes from last week. Professionals create, amateurs compete. You remember that? I'm telling you, this stuff is so deep, right? It really is. But if you remember last week, we were just finishing off with John Canary, and Bob was about to come on to the stage. So we're going to pick it back up where Bob was about to come on. But if you remember last week, we were talking about a prison for your mind, and you've got to see yourself as you want to be. Now, I just shared an audio book there with Joey about The Secret. I sent him this morning. And even though Joey has the book, probably read it a dozen times before, I was listening to the audio when I was driving around yesterday and driving here this morning. And it's just, do you know what? It's amazing. So look, get yourself onto YouTube, type in audio book, The Secret. Not right now. Stay here right now, right? But later, and you're looking for about a 3.5 hour version of it. Listen to it at 1.5 speed. This stuff is going to blow your mind. If you're into this stuff, it's going to blow your mind. You're going to love it. But look, what we're going to get onto here is, a very in-depth version of what they talk about in The Secret. And this stuff is incredible. This stuff is absolutely incredible. And it really sets you up for changing something. To be honest, listen, let's just get into it because, Bob can explain it much better than I can. So I think you should be, hold on a second. I just need to make sure. I'm not sharing yet. I just need to add this to the screen. And here we go.
So let's get the all level of energy up again and bring on Robert. Okay. Thank you, John. On page 22 in your action planner, I want to suggest that you take the chapter on the image maker and read it over a couple of times. Not once, read it over 2 or 3 times. I have found that as we read things over, they start to take on a different meaning. I read somewhere in a book where it said, when you read a good book through the second time, you don't see something in it you didn't see before. You see something in yourself that wasn't there before. So as we go through this chapter a couple of times, we'll start to relate to it a little different. Now, I want to suggest that at the end of this particular lesson, you sit down with the new understanding that you have from the information we've already covered and stop and ask yourself, what areas of my life would I really like to change? Take a look at some of the results you're getting at the bottom of page 22 and list some of the results you'd like to change. Now, at the top of page 23 is a quote that come out of Maxwell Maltz's classic Psycho-Cybernetics. Psyche being Greek for mind, cybernetics being the science of control and communication in our marvelous mind. Now, Maltz said, we act, we behave, and feel. Now, think of what we're talking about here. We act, we behave, and we feel. The vibration that we're in most of the time, according to what we consider our self-image to be. And we do not deviate from that pattern. This is the one stumbling block that many people have. You're going to hear from a man in a few minutes that made a phenomenal change just through understanding this one idea. And I'm going to tell you, the man was brilliant when he got the idea. It was just one small change. This could be the one you want to make. Now, Maltz explained that the image you hold of yourself is a premise, a base, or a foundation. It's nothing but an idea in your mind upon which your entire personality is built. He concluded this image not only controls your behavior, it controls your circumstance as well. Now, it would take a respectable understanding to grasp that. How could an idea in our mind literally change the circumstances in our life? Well, by the time you finish this seminar, the various subjects in it, you're going to know exactly how those circumstances can change. It'll be very clear to you. But I can assure you, you alter this image in your mind that John was talking about. You take this idea of what you want to be and learn how to plant it in here and release this idea. Like that, your life will change. And you're going to hear from someone who made a big change. Now, let's take a look at this idea of cybernetics. You know, a number of years ago, many years ago, I bought this book. It was out around 1960, and it was shortly after that I got it. And like most of these books I get, I read it over and over and over again. Now, let me digress for a second. I was in a seminar that Dr. Harry Roeder was conducting. And I'm going to tell you, this man is brilliant. He has an enormous amount of information of why we do what we do. And I remember we were working with a loose leaf exercise book. It was in Chicago that I was in the seminar, although Dr. Roeder is a Canadian. And he said something that really sunk in, and on the first page in the book, I wrote it. He said, you do not understand something until you can explain it to someone else so that they understand it. Now run that through your computer a couple of times. You do not understand something until you can explain it to someone else so that they understand it. Now, that was written in a book a long time ago. I wrote it, as Harry said it. I'd read this book before that, and I read it off and on every year or two. I'll read it a couple of times. Someone came up to me in a seminar one day years ago, and they said, Bob, do you know what cybernetics means? I said, yeah. They said, well, what does it mean? I said, well, it's, and all I could see was the front page of that book where Dr. Roeder said, you do not understand something until you can explain it to someone else so that they understand. And I didn't know how to explain it. Now, this chapter or this paragraph on page 23 is right out of this book. I went and got the book out again, and I started to study it. And I got some other books on cybernetics, some real heavy stuff, and I started to study it. Now, let's read it. Cybernetics is the science of control and communication in the animal and in some machines. It is based on the fact that both biological organisms and some machines have sensors that measure deviation from a set goal. These sensors signal feedback into a coordinating mechanism, your nervous system, which corrects the output or the behavior of those same organisms or machines. Now, if you're reading a page and you go spinning past that paragraph, I think you'll have to admit it'd be pretty easy not to understand what you've just read. Now, you just read, in fact, I read it to you and you probably followed me. You might ask yourself, could you really explain that to someone? Well, I obviously couldn't. That's why it's so essential that we listen to this over and over again. A couple of us were talking at the break. And this gentleman just come back. He came back. He'd just been through the seminar. He came back through it again. And he says, it's so much different. And I said, every time you go through it, it's different. I said, that's because you're operating with a higher awareness and you'll see things you weren't able to see before. Now, turn over onto page 24. This page could be worth its weight in gold along with the other two pages. Let's let this circle that you see at the top of the page, you're at the top of page 24, let that represent a thermostat in your home. And we take this thermostat and we set the dial to control the room temperature at 72 degrees. That is the set goal. Now, what'd they say? It says it has a sensor in it to measure deviation from a set goal. It signals this deviation into a coordinating mechanism, which then corrects the output. Let's suppose the room temperature is at 72 degrees. Someone leaves the front door open, and it's cold. You're in the northern part of North America, and the temperature drops quickly to 68 degrees. The sensor in the thermostat picks up that deviation. It sends a message through the electrical system in the house to the furnace. The fire's turned on, the fan's turned on until that room temperature is brought back under control again at 72, then it cuts out. Let's look at it in another machine. We'll say this is an airplane. Well, that wasn't nice. I'll bet you couldn't draw it any better. It's quite obvious I haven't majored in art. Like the guy said he majored in the minors. All right. Now, this airplane, let's suppose it leaves Pearson International Airport in Toronto, and it's going to LAX or Los Angeles in California. When the pilot leaves the vicinity of the international airport here in Toronto, the pilot sets a cybernetic mechanism. That's called an automatic pilot. Then you see the guy with the 4 stripes wandering down the plane and, how are you today, sir? You having a nice trip? Enjoying yourself, ma'am? I used to sit there and I think, why doesn't he get back in that room up front? I didn't feel particularly comfortable screaming through the sky at that height and the guy that's in charge of the ship wandering around, inquiring as to the state of my health. But I would feel much healthier if I didn't see you wandering around this plane. But it didn't make any difference. He could have come back and sat with us. That plane was under control. It had an automatic pilot, a cybernetic mechanism. Now, let's suppose that airplane got hit with some unexpected turbulence and bang, it got knocked off course. The automatic pilot would pick up the deviation from the set goal. If it didn't, this thing might end up somewhere down around Juarez, Mexico. It signals a message through the electrical system in the airplane. The wings are changed. The engine thrust is changed, and that plane is brought right back under control again. Now come down and take a look at these two people on page 24. We'll just draw one. This person has an image in their mind. I'll use a concept that we could all relate to. Let's suppose this person's a salesperson or they're a student. You could use either one. Let's suppose the salesperson sells $1 million worth of their product or service every year. Do you know large sales organizations can pretty well tell you what their sales force is going to write at the beginning of the year? If they have a contest and they send them off to some exotic place on a trip for writing so much business, and they name where they're going to go today, and they're not going to go for a year, do you know that they can book the seats on the plane now? They know exactly how many rooms that they're going to rent. That's because people very rarely deviate from their set objective. They're locked into a habit pattern. What we could switch this, and let's say it's a student that gets a C average. Now, this salesperson may get a real pep talk in a sales meeting or something. No understanding, just motivation, no education. They get all wound up and they go out, and in a week, they write $350,000 worth of business. Their self-image picks up the deviation from the set goal, sends it into a coordinating mechanism, the nervous system. A signal is sent, and the behavioral patterns will change, and that person will quit selling until they're back on course again. Now, they may go through a period where they write nothing for a month. Self-image picks up that information, sends a message through the nervous system. The behavioral patterns will change. They'll get up and they'll start selling again. But at the end of the year, they still have written $1 million worth of business. Let's suppose it's a student that's getting a C average. They bring the report card home. Parents turn the heat up, turn the TV off, bicycle goes, girlfriends, boyfriends are out of the picture. Rarely put the pressure on the kid. The marks shoot up and they get 100% on a test. Self-image picks up that information, sends a message to the nervous system. The behavioral patterns will change, and pretty soon that child's back on course again. What's causing the problem? It's this image in here. That's what it is. That's not what they want to be, but that's what they are. At the bottom of the page, that drawing. On page 25, results in control of you, you in control of results. If you were to look in your Born Rich book on page 62, there's a story of a man that I am very proud to call my friend, and John's friend as well. This man started into the insurance business in the southern part of the United States 38 years ago. He had just left college. He was 23 years old. He worked as an agent, a salesperson for 3 years. Then he moved into management. He held a number of management positions. As a matter of fact, he became the vice president of sales for the states of Kansas, Missouri, Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. John and I both did a lot of work for him in that area. And I'm going to tell you, he is a good man. There is just absolutely no question about it. And he is well-liked and respected. Big difference in the two, of both of them. This man today decided that he wanted to quit traveling and he wanted to move back to his roots. I often ask people in the seminar, how many of you are living in the house you choose to live in? I don't very often get many hands up. This man would be able to hold his hand up because I've been in that house. I've slept there, I've eaten there on a number of occasions. And I'm going to tell you, it's one of the nicest houses I've ever been in. But it's a little more than a house. It's a real comfortable home. It really is. And you feel welcome when you walk into that place. The energy in there is just incredible. He's got a just an absolutely beautiful wife, Tip. She is really a grand gal. I mean, she is something special. He's not only busy in the sales field, he's got 5 children and 19 grandchildren. You'd almost think the guy was 150, wouldn't you? This beautiful house he owns, he not only sells, he gets involved in some physical labor. It's way back in off the road. And I'm going to tell you, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's got its own little lake. He decided to brick the driveway, and he was going to put them all in himself. Now, not being too fond of manual labor, I took a look at what he was starting, and I thought, the poor guy's got to need a psychiatrist. You know, I asked him this morning or last night, how many bricks did you lay there? And he said, 55,000. Give you an idea how long the driveway is. It's all his property. He wasn't bricking somebody else's driveway. Some of you will really appreciate the significance of this, and some of you may not. This man lives in a town of 17,000 people, where the average income is below the national poverty level. In spite of that, he has
Enter the Virgin Media Playhouse for unbelievable value from Ireland's best broadband. Get 500 meg superfast reliable broadband for just €35 a month for 12 months.
Hey, Joe. So listen, just while that advert is playing, give me your thoughts on what you've heard so far.
Oh, so far there's a lot of abundance of wisdom from that session. First, I like how he mentioned about the quote that is one of my favorite quotes. If you read a good book second time, you see something in new. You know, the second time you knew that you didn't see before. So yeah, I experienced that because I start to read 10 pages of book nowadays every day now. And I quite like and enjoy reading. You know, I used to be the best, and I tell everyone I don't like reading. But now that reading is part of my daily routine now, I try to read 10 pages or more every day now. So, and it's so true. And I liked how he explained about you don't understand something until you explain it to someone else to understand it. And it's so true. You know, sometimes like you use the example of the book, cybernetic, you know. And sometimes we read a book and a few times, but we don't really still don't get it. But I think when we understand is you explain what you learn from that book to another person. Like you just I can feel the energy when you share with me the book about the secret, because I believe, you learn something new when you listen to that book, and it's resonate with me. Your energy is I can feel it from the, knowing that, you're excited about it, you talk about it, and because you learn something, you understand something about the book. So, and that's why you share with me. So, and getting into the cybernetic part, which is the sign or the, something that is control. They're using the signs nowadays. For example, for the plane, I just got off from the plane from Bali on a holiday, and I'm marvelous. I'm grateful for the people who are willing to train to become pilot and the captain. you know, and it amazed me, you know. We were running late from Bali when we came back, 1 hour late from the time we were supposed to be take off, but we still make it the 5 hour that they promised us to. And I know because as soon we took off, they, you know, everything they set the cruise control to a certain speed that, you know, it will allow them to fast track the plane up the speed to still meeting the deadline that we're supposed to be landing in Sydney. I, you know, talking about the cybernetic, cybernetic, I really like because I was talking to a guy yesterday and he was talking about something about, you know, about the rocket. And it's so true. And I shared with him, I had that one before. We think the rocket is shoot straight into the moon, but it correct every time because it's off course and it's corrected because there is a mechanism inside the rocket that is designed that if something is off course, it has to be calibrated to align with the course that's supposed to be. In related to us, you know, it's very true because our self-image is the mechanism within us that can realign us if we are off course from the goals, from the purpose of what we're doing things in life. And I think it's very important to understand that because that's why a lot of people keep drifting in life because their self-image is, you know, it's not working properly because, you know, we should be look at ourselves first and then, you know, have the I like one of my friends said, have an honest opinion, honest review of yourself. When you do that, you realize, you know, what I need to work on it. If I'm lacking on this, you know, maybe consistency, I need to be more consistent to get back into the course. If I'm not eating the right nutrition, I need to take a look at what I eat every day and look at because you and I know that the food that we eat every day is not give us the full nutrition, you know. But thank God we have a company that we work together with them. We have the right nutrition, the vitamin, the supplement to, you know, give us the right nutrition that our body need every single day. So sorry I take it too long, but I just you know.
You're not. You know, Joe, what you're saying is it makes a lot of sense. You know, it makes a lot of sense. You know, and I was making some notes while we were talking, and even some of the things that you were saying, and you know, like I was thinking like you know the feelings that you have. Your feelings are like are like a compass. Do you know what I mean? To keep you on track. And if you're not feeling good, you're off track. Do you know what I mean? But then he talks about habit patterns. And if you get into you know if your feelings are from a low vibration, you're not feeling good about yourself, you know, you're feeling dis-ease, not disease, but dis-ease about something, you're attracting something. You're attracting something coming into your life, something maybe bad that's going to happen. And this is why I think that your thoughts are magnetic. You know, they attract, you know, you attract the things that you think about. Just, you know, so, you know, like some of this stuff was just popping into my head, you know, like you've got to set your destination. You've got to plot your course. You've got to be very deliberate about this stuff. And then you've got to activate the law of attraction, right? By thinking about it like you already have it. By, like, if it's weight you want to lose, you don't think about losing weight. You think about how you're going to look and feel, you know, or how, in fact, you don't think about how you're going to look and feel. You think about how you look and feel in that moment when the weight is gone, when you're looking the best that you've ever looked and felt in a decade. You know, so, you know, like Joey's absolutely right. You know, like this stuff is so important. And look, you might get a different message from it. But it's really about changing, you know, look, changing your, you know, how you think. Because look, the bottom line is the way I was thinking, you know, wasn't necessarily working for me. Sometimes you get in a slump, you know, you just start having these bad thoughts and then bad things start happening to you. You know, like, thank God I'm one of the luckiest people I know, you know, because good things always happen to me. You know, I'm serious. Good things always happen, you know, like unbelievable good things happen to me. I seem to avoid so many different things that could just literally land at my doorstep and maybe years ago would have done. But now they don't, you know, because I'm not attracting them to me. I'm literally repelling that shit away from me. It's amazing, So, and I think anybody can do it. I think the universe is a strange creature. Do you know what I mean? And it gives you what you ask for. I would, it's like, you order something, you phone up the local takeaway shop, you phone it up, you know what you want, and then 20 minutes later it's delivered to you. That's the way the universe works. You phone up the universe, you tell it what you want, and then it's going to give it to you. But you have to believe that it's already on its way.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure it's even more complicated than that, Joey. I really don't know. But I love this shit. Do you know what I mean? I really love it. I think it's amazing. But like those habit patterns, that is a big one. That's a big one. It's about. I was on we both know Heather. Heather. We'll have to get her on one weekend. She's absolutely amazing. She's really, really clever. I was talking with her about habit patterns, and I was saying, well, instead of focusing on changing a bad habit that I've got, why don't I create a new habit? Just create a new habit. And if I create that new habit, will that old habit just kind of fall away? Will it just disappear, out of existence? But that's what he's talking about. When you've got that course correction, you add a new habit, you go off course. Your self-image brings you back. You got to control this shit, don't you? Setting a destination so you know where you're going. And then constantly correcting back towards that destination. And that destination, can just be a moment in time. It can be a moment in time. Like, to be honest, when you decided to go on holiday to Bali, right, with your family, you had some things that you had to do. You had to phone up the travel agent and say, hey, listen, I need to buy X amount of seats. I want to book a hotel and everything else. And then you put the phone down, paid for it. You're going to Bali.
Yeah.
You were going. It was going to happen.
Yeah.
So I think it's, this stuff is mad. It's absolutely mad. But Joey's right. Joey's right. We work with a company that has all the things that you need to get yourself in the best shape that you've been in a decade. This is a great opportunity to have a quick break and play a short advert. And Joey and I will be right back.
Welcome to Forever, man. Let's go. Come on. It's forever. No surrender. Yeah. You know that this right here forever. And there will be no surrender. Now allow me to reintroduce myself because this is forever. And there will be no surrender. Yeah. Come on, here we go. You know that this right here forever. No surrender. It's forever. You know this right here forever. No surrender. It's forever. You know this right here forever.
Únete a nosotros.
It's time to reach your goals.
It's time to see results.
It's time to end the excuses.
Es momento de aumentar tu energía.
You can do it.
Goodbye.
Hasta pronto.
Cheerio.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. Listen, just before we get into this, a couple of things that I want you to take a quick look at. Of course, don't forget, download your Freedom, Health and Lifestyle goal sheet in the description. Link is in the description. Send it off to Joey once you've got it filled in. Send it off to me, and we'll be happy to get you kicked off on your 30-day reset completely risk-free. What results can you expect? Great ones, right? But you have to put in the work. You know, Joey and I can help you, but we can't do it for you. So what's really important, have a good reason why. You want a strong reason why you're doing it. We want it to link it to an event. Remember, we were talking about a destination. So how do you want to look and feel? You need to be thinking about that, you know, in the current moment, you know, so that you're going to change from the inside out. It's going to be incredible. I'm super excited. I'm so excited for you. Having a great goal. You know, don't think about losing weight. This is not a diet. This is a lifestyle plan. Okay. No one wants to do anything with the word die in it. So we don't want to do that. So we want a good goal. So look, let's get kicked off. And again, Joey's details are in the link is in the description for the 16-week Ice the Body Challenge with Joey. And there's one also there for Freedom, Health and Lifestyle Ice the Body Challenge. But look, just get started. You know, what have you got to lose? Nothing. You know, what this is about freedom, health, lifestyle, you know, freeing yourself, you know, from where you are, becoming that person you want to be, better health, you know, physical health, mental health. It's not just about thinking, it's about feeling. You know, it's simple, but it's not easy. But look, I believe you can do it. I believe you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Joey can do it, you can do it. You know, Joey and I, you know, we still put on our trousers the same way as everybody else. Do you know what I mean? You know, like there's nothing special about this. You know, we're not smarter or better than anybody else. You know, but we're willing and we're open to learning and understanding that we can be better. And everybody wants better. I don't care what it is. Everybody wants better. They do. No one's got it all. So, look, get it done, as Joey would say. You know, today is the day. Let me see. And I want you to just take a look at this website. I can't find it. Let me see. Where is it? Just trying to get it up on the screen because I want to invite you to come along to a call that we have on a Monday. It's on Monday morning. Is it on Tuesday morning for you, Joe?
Yeah.
Tuesday morning. Yeah. In the Northern Hemisphere, it's on a Monday. In the Southern Hemisphere, it's on a Tuesday. Not everywhere in the world, I don't think. Just Joey's on the opposite side of the world to me, or I'm on the opposite side to Joey. Depends on perspective, right? Depends on where you're looking at it from. You know, I have to sit here and believe that Joey's actually sitting upside down. Whatever. Right. I don't think so. Down is down, right? Okay. So look, definitely, you know, obviously Joey and I are really lucky because we get to work with Linda Proctor. This is Bob Proctor's wife. And of course, you know, Linda has an initiative called Rise and Thrive. And of course, if you go to risethrive.global, you can find out more about what we're doing there. And it's really about helping you get what you really, really want. You know, you can download this little black book. And again, in this video here, Bob talks about, you know, the little black book and how you can have whatever it is that you want. And there's a way, but it's really about creating multiple sources of income, learning secrets that all wealthy individuals have known. And of course, it's really about helping people. It's about people helping people. Do you know what I mean? To truly make a difference. World-class support, great mentorship. Watch this video down here, and of course, download a little black book. How did you hear about us? Put Joey and Mick in there, and of course, they'll know exactly where you've come from. And of course, these are some of our mentors. You know, Marnie Kay. In fact, Gerhard is actually on the call tomorrow. Gerhard and Marnie. So if you go to this website, I'm sure you can see that on the screen, right, Joe?
Yeah.
Okay, and if you go to team calls, you can see here, top right-hand corner, go to team calls. When this page, did I click it? Maybe my internet is slow, or maybe it's not. Oh, there we go. Team calls. So, and of course, there is a replay of the Earn What You're Worth seminar. It's a 4 calls. You can listen to them all in one day if you like. Or and again, look here, registration link to Mondays. So zoom.to/link Mondays. In fact, what I'll do is I'll just copy all this, and again, we'll just stick it in the comments. And feel free to register for any of those links. And again, you're invited to this call. It's completely free. There's no obligation to buy, book, or get involved with anything. You can just come along and listen to what Linda, Marnie, Gerhard, I think what we were talking about with what was that book that we were going through? Quantum Leap. That was the book that they were talking about last week. Amazing information. Do you know what I mean? About how you can make a quantum leap in your life. So look, if you're into this stuff, look, definitely get involved. Find out more about what it is that we do, how we do it, and why it might work for you. I'm not saying it will, but it might. Give it a try.
Give it a try.
Give it a try.
Yep.
Just get it done. Get it done, Joey.
Get it done. You got nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose, exactly. In fact, that's what I mean. You've literally got everything to gain, because you can have whatever it is that you want. That's the funny thing. You can have whatever you want. You're proof of that. When I think about, my life and I look back, when I was 15 years old, left school, digging holes in the road, a guy comes out in a BMW, and my dad's the foreman. And I said, Dad, who's that guy? He says, oh, he's the site agent. He comes out, looks after all the lads, brings everybody their wages and everything else like that. I'm like, I want his job. And I was laughed at, you can't have his job. And I'm like, Dad, why don't you have his job? Oh, they'll never let me have his job. Do you know what I mean? I had his job by the time I was 20.
Wow.
Because I set my course. And everybody who I came in contact with, I told them that I was going to be that. I wanted that job. And then out of the blue, I get a phone call. I'm 20 years old. Out of the blue, I get a phone call from a guy called Tony Lever. He says, oh, Mick, there's a site agent's job going up in Manchester. Yeah, I lived in Nottingham. Going up in Manchester. Do you want it? I said, yeah. And the next day I was in Manchester. The very next day. It was on Sunday night. I got a call at 8 o'clock. I just met Kate, who was my wife to be. And, the next morning I picked up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I was in Manchester for 8 o'clock. I started as a site agent. Couldn't believe it. This stuff happens, and same with the business that I have today, crazy, crazy stuff. You get what you think about. So, look, I wrote down here, your energy goes where your mind flows, right? And then I put down question, what are you thinking about? Where is your mind going? Where are your thoughts taking you? Like if you're thinking about debt, you're just going to attract more debt. If you're thinking about abundance, you're attracting abundance. But whatever that abundance is, whether it be riches, money, health, whatever it is, I don't care what it is. Look, we should get back into this, Joe, because I'm just waffling because it just drives me insane. It just really livens up my mind, this stuff. Do you know what I mean? Gets me thinking about it.
That's good. That's good.
I'm on fire. Somebody put me out.
Love it. Yeah, the water.
I'm telling you. Let me see where we're at. So listen, Joe, where were we with Bob? Well, in fact, we'd just gone, we went to an advert, didn't it? Right. So let me see where we are. So let's watch another 5. We'll watch 5 minutes of this, then we'll finish it up. And that'll give us maybe one more show out of this part 3 before we move on to the next one. Otherwise, we'll never get through it if I just keep rambling on, right? So let me share this screen. Anything else you want to add, Joe?
No. I just want to get into the last 5 minutes and we'll wrap it up.
Perfect. All right, wonderful.
Largest agency in the Prudential Insurance Company of America. He has 60 agents and 8 managers. Now, this is absolutely phenomenal. He operates he operates the largest agency and certainly one of the most successful. He's a man that really believes in what he does. Not a lot of people do. I've met his children. And Janie, his daughter, is the mother of 3 beautiful little kids. She works in the same company Paul works in. She's an agent too. And Joe, his son-in-law, he's an agent in the same company that Paul's in. I like it when I see a person bringing their own family into the same business they're in. It speaks well of what they think of their business. I think of all the things I could say about this man. He's a man of integrity, and you are more than fortunate in meeting him. Believe me, you really are. He's a very special friend of mine and John's, and I phoned him just a little over a week ago, and I said, you know, I've got an idea that it would really add something to this program because there will be millions of people watching this all over the world. Within a couple of months, this particular seminar that you're sitting in will be on the market in New Zealand, Australia, in England, and in every city in North America. I wanted those people to know this man. But even more than that, I wanted them to hear from the person themselves how a man took the idea on this page and like that, put it to work, and the difference it made in his life. And I'm going to tell you something. You could not consider him a loser when he got this idea by any stretch of the imagination. He's a very special guy. I want you to stand up and really give this man a warm welcome. It's Paul Hutsey from Pittsburgh, Kansas.
As I pause to think about what sets most men apart, it seems to me that goals in life is a place to start. Imagine playing football on an unmarked field of green. Not a goal line to be sought, not a goal post to be seen. It would be an aimless battle with nothing to be gained, without a thing to strive for, not a score to be obtained. We must have purpose in our lives for the flame that warms the soul. Every man must have purpose. Every man must have a goal. The question is, why are you here today? Well, I think you're here today because you want more of the good life. Right, Nino? And that's the way I was in August of 1975 when I came to this great city, when our company had a conference here. And on the last day, they were introducing the speaker, and they were telling what an outstanding personality he was, and that he was going to speak for 3 hours in a row without a break. And I leaned over to the guy next to me, and I said, I wish this guy good luck in his next job because he's on his way out of this one. I couldn't imagine anybody talking for 3 hours. And then this redheaded guy ran up on the stage and started jumping up and down. And as he began to talk, why, he talked about different ideas. He talked about the way you think. And he talked about the great law. And he talked about the picture of your mind. And as he talked, well, they came a hush over the crowd, and he really mesmerized people for 3 hours. Now, I've heard a lot of speakers, but this man kind of charged me up. And when it was over, I said to him, could you and I have a cup of coffee together? And without a minute hesitation, Heather, he said, yeah. Now, one of the great things about Bob Proctor is that he's a great giver. And sometimes people give you 2 or 3 minutes. But we went off and we sat down and we talked for a long time. And I said to him, you know, some of the things that you said today kind of turned me on. I don't see myself as a loser. And I'm considered to be a good manager. One of the bright ones, they tell me, in the company today. They say I'm a motivator, I'm a good speaker, but things never really seem to happen in my life. Why is that? The things that you're talking about. And he says, I can see very clearly what's wrong with you, and it will only take me It will only take me 15 minutes to straighten you up. So he talked for a while. He said, looky, I'm coming to Kansas. This is August. He said, I'm coming to Kansas in October to do some seminars for your company. I'll see you then. I didn't want to wait till October. I said, I want to know about this now. He said, I'm traveling Indiana and Illinois next week. If you want to come with me, come on. So for a whole week, I traveled with him. And there was 8 parts of that seminar, and we did 4 of them that week. And then at night when everybody else went to home, well, he did the other 4 with me. Now let me tell you a little bit about how those ideas impacted my life and the lives of people around me and that I've been able to impact. Because I began to see possibilities. I began to see doors instead of walls. That was October when he came to Kansas. My agency at that time was about 180 in a company, and in 2 months we went to 72. And then later that year, I was transferred to another district. That district had not won a citation in the company for 8 years, one of Prudential's highest awards. When I got there, we were 163. The first year, using these ideas we're talking about right now, we finished 11 in the company out of 500. And then 9, and then 4. And then 80 and 81, we were the #1 agency in the company in first-year commissions, and that's the name of the game. Everybody understands that. First-year commissions is the name of the game. And we did that in a town of 17,000 people, as he said. But I've come to understand that it's not where you are that counts, but who you are, Tammy. Now, what's the difference? What was the difference between the Paul Hutsey then and the Paul Hutsey later? Well, I've come to understand this, that there's very little difference in most people. But that little bit of difference is the way you think. And that makes a big difference. You know, William James, a great philosopher, one time said that the greatest discovery of our century is that you can change your life by changing the way you think. So from a practical point of view, from somebody that's on the street like I am, let me tell you about how these ideas that Bob talks about might impact your life and the things that they might do for you. I do some public speaking, do some seminars for companies. I've developed some of my own ideas, laws that I call on, that I share with other people. And let me share some of those with you. First of all, let me talk to you about the law of repetition. And I'm going to go through this real quickly. But I think it's the number of times that you try something that's really going to make the big difference in your life. You see, the reason why you need to read your books and your tapes very often is because of repetition, spaced repetition. It is the number of times. That's why the video that we're doing right now is so important for you to have. Just think about having Bob Proctor in your house every day. I promise you that if you would take 15 minutes a day and listen to one part of this tape.
We created some artificial intelligence software.
All right, Joe. Super interesting, right? I think when we pick it up next week, I think we'll pick it up from Paul Hutsey at the beginning again, because he's, you know, I've watched this so many times, I don't ever remember seeing that. Is that mad? Is that crazy? Like maybe I've just always been, maybe, you know, because sometimes I like to listen to this stuff, you know, when I'm driving around and stuff like this. And maybe I just switched off. You know, sometimes you listen to something, you hear something pops out and you just go off into a daydream thinking about it, or do you know what I mean? So I'm loving what we're doing here because, you know, I'm seeing stuff that I've not even seen. I'm hearing stuff that I've not heard the way I've heard it this time around. So what Paul Hutsey was just talking about there was that repetition about going over this stuff over and over again. Bob mentioned it earlier on that, you know, it's not that you see something different on the page, it's that you see something different inside you. Fascinating stuff. You know, change your life by changing your mind. What are your thoughts, Joe? Let's hear it, and then we'll wrap it up for this week. You're on mute.
If you're watching this, maybe replay or, you know, currently watching this, if you can take one idea and apply it, it will definitely change your life. And it will conclude with what Paul Hutsey said. You know, referring William James, you know, one of the, his philosophy was we can change our life by change the way we think. And if you are watching this, we're very proud of you. Thank you very much for always tuning in, watching the replay. You know, we are looking forward for one day to have more conversation, maybe something that we might be able to help you with, you know, in your journey. And I think, Mike, you were talking about, that's why we in the community that keep us like, we have a mechanism that keep us on course all the time, keep us reminding us our why, our purpose, and our goals all the time, so that we don't have to deviate, have to compromise, but we have to stay on course because we are going somewhere and we will get there one day. Apart from that, we love you all. Thank you very much for the time. Mike, it's a pleasure and always exciting, and also sharing your energy with me all the time on Sunday night here in Australia and morning over there in Ireland. It's a pleasure, mate, and it's a blessing for me and my journey.
Yes, my pleasure too, Joe. It really is. Do you know what I mean? Like, who would have thought? You know, like, there's no reason for you and I to even know each other, only because of this, only because of how we got connected. So, you know, my brother from another mother, you know, it's just amazing. I'm excited. And listen, I'm so excited about this week and what's happening this week. And, you know, I just feel like this week is a really big week, you know, starting from now, right in this moment, you know. Boy, I'm telling you, this is serious stuff. You know, like, I think at the beginning of this, John Canary was saying, look, don't dismiss it, don't accept it, don't dismiss it. Can't remember all the rest of it, but I feel like this is one of those moments, Joe, you know, where change is inevitable. Do you know, and you're in control of that. You decide where you want to go and how you want to get there. And I'm going to say, arrive in style, go in style. Do you know what I mean? Dream big, you know, go for whatever it is you want. Those people who say that you can't have it, feck them. You can have it. You can have it. Right. Joe, love you, brother. Love you, brother. And we'll be chatting anyway. I might see you on that call tomorrow. And don't forget, look, go to that risethrive.global, register for one of those calls. The links are in the chat. Select the Monday one. It's going to be Tuesday if you're in Australia, Tuesday morning. But look, see you there.
See you there. Thank you.
You see, we are created in a magnificent vibration, in an absolutely magnificent vibration. Born risk takers. Free. That conditioning takes place after birth. You can change it. It takes guts. It takes goals. Now, do you know something? You're sitting there watching this and you're thinking, by God, I'm going to change something. I always say, keep reminding yourself that you have tremendous reservoirs of potential within you, and therefore you are quite capable of doing anything you set your mind to. You really can. I don't care what the cynics tell you. Quit listening to some of your peers. Now, all you must do is figure out how you can do it, not whether you can or not. When are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? You've got to create a sense of urgency. I'm going to do it right now.
If you can see it, you can do it. But the beautiful truth is you can do anything. We got to know there is a place. There is a specific frequency. And if you get on that frequency, you're going to attract what you need to you. This is what it's all about. Why have you been endowed with such awesome powers? If you'll make a committed decision, this I'm going to do. And you don't have to know how. You do not have to know how. The second you make the committed decision, you flip your brain onto the frequency that you have to be on to attract what you have to attract to manifest the thing that you want. If you can see it, you can do it. It's got to be something you want. Wants come from inside. Act like you're already there. Walk, talk, speak, live like you're already there. Don't set a small goal. Don't set something that doesn't really wind your stem. Set it so big it jazzes you. It really gets you going. When something of a very high nature resonates with the very high side of you, you'll know it. You'll know it. You will feel it. Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. The only prerequisite, do you want it? Not do you need it, not could you do it. The only prerequisite is, do you want it? Take the lid off your marvelous mind and dream. For goodness sake, give yourself the right to do that. Get your analytical mind out of the way. Put it in your pocket for a while. All you're doing is exploring, daydreaming. What did Lawrence say? All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their mind waken the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dream with open eyes to make it possible. This I did.